main thing is we have to get a win. It's going to be a difficult game.
Brighton are going to come with no fear and put it on us.
Our home record is superb.
Come on, you Gunners. Yes, my people, welcome back to AFTV. You've joined myself and Robbie for the preview of this Sunday's game, Arsenal versus Brighton, here at the Emirates Stadium, a 4:30 p.m. kickoff. Robbie, it's middle of May and we are getting...
Oh man, the rain is coming down, man. It's wet, but I think they said at the weekend the weather's going to be nicer, isn't it?
Let's hope so.
You know, so yeah, let's just hope we get some nice weather on the day, but most importantly, let's hope we get the 3 points, man, because that is an absolutely massive game. And I think, you know, it could be a significant day because just before us, Man City play against Everton. Every Arsenal fan will be praying that Everton can do us a favour, and you never know because Everton, you know, they got a great win over Brighton.
Yes, true.
It's sort of in between that Real Madrid game for Man City, so going away to Goodison Park is going to be a bit of a tricky game for them. So if they could do us a favour, and then we do our business, you never know. We could be a couple of points up, but listen, the main thing is we have to get a win, and it's going to be a difficult game.
It's going to be a difficult game, but I want to kind of just bring you to this. It's 2 weeks until the end of the season. That is it. It's been such a tremendous season for us as Arsenal fans, but can you believe it? 2 weeks left. We've got to get the 3 points this Sunday, but only 2 weeks left, and that is
2 weeks left. And actually, I'm going to do a little quick ad here just to get this in, right? We're doing an Invincible podcast special on the 23rd of May at the Isn't It an Assembly Hall. Get down there. All the guys are going to be. You're going to be there.
James,
and in that podcast, we're going to be dishing out a prize for our Arsenal Player of the Year, and that's going to be interesting because there's been so many good players in the team this year. But yeah, I can't believe there's only 2 weeks left. 2 home games, Brighton and Wolves. Those are the last 2 home games.
We got to go to Forest.
It's been a brilliant season. And I thought last week at Newcastle, that was one of my favourite performances of the season. You know what I mean? I thought we're absolutely brilliant. We matched their physicality. We were better than them when it came to like skill and everything. And I thought that was a really good away performance by Arsenal, and sets us in good stead for this game because we're coming in off the back of a really good win in a game that everybody expected us to lose. And Brighton are coming in off the back of a really bad defeat in a game that everybody expected them to win.
I don't think that bodes well for Arsenal, Robbie, but I'll get into that when I speak about their last 5 games and our last 5 fixtures. I have a bone to pick with you, I'll be honest, Because before the Newcastle game, we had a conversation, we did the preview, it was outside Buckingham Palace, and I said, Newcastle are going to come out at us. They're going to come and attack us. And you're like, no, they're going to be aware of our threats. It's not going to be like that. And I know you're going to argue this, but I think that's going to be the same here when Arsenal play Brighton. They're going to come at us. Brighton are going to come with no fear and put it on us.
But I never said that Newcastle wouldn't have any fear. And I said to him, they'll come and, they'll have a go, which they did at the start of the game. And, they're at home. But when we took it to them, what happens? You know what I mean? And that's what I said, you know what I mean? What I said is they won't be as defensive as they were when they came here.
Yeah, of course.
That they'll come out a bit more. But I didn't think they would go all-out attack. And they were forced back so much by us, so it was an excellent performance by us on the day. And we even beat them at their own game of wasting time.
Yeah, which was really annoyed a lot of fans. But you are right, with Brighton, I've watched a lot of Brighton games this season. They only play one way, right? They've got one way of playing. And that is they attack, they're on the ball a lot. They may even have more possession than us in the game because they like to play out from the back every single time. They like to play through the lines, trust players, and when it comes off, they are brilliant. When it don't come off, that's what we saw the other day at Everton, because Everton, basically, they pressed them into a lot of mistakes and caught them on the counter-attack. And Arsenal are very much capable of doing that, but expect Brighton to play how Brighton play. I don't expect Brighton to go long or nothing like that. No,
I mean, Roberto De Zerbi, that's how he plays. And so I think, in analysing this game, Mikel Arteta's going to know in advance what they're going to do. It's about stopping it. Are
you not worried? Being at home, we've leaked so many goals, Robbie, here at the Emirates this season. And you always want to tell me, Cecil, we've only lost 1 game here at the Emirates, so don't forget that. And I don't. But I think the performances here haven't been good in the past couple of weeks. Yes, we've done very well away. We spoke about the way.
Well, in the last game, we thrashed Chelsea. And that first half performance was very, very good. And
Chelsea were very bad. Yeah, but well, you know what I mean? You beat a very, very bad team, you put them away. You know what I mean?
And we still conceded.
Just like Brighton were very, very bad. We
though.
did still concede, but it's about 3 points. And for me, you know, yes, there's been too many games this season at home when we've conceded, but let's not get it twisted. We've been excellent at home. We've lost 1 game at home all season.
Yeah, but the eye test is not telling me that. I guess we've been excellent, but it hasn't been good football. We've been conceding early from lower teams.
Eye tests or 3 points? What do you want? You know what I mean? Specsavers or 3 points? I'll take the 3 points. Right, at the end of the day, Arsenal's home record is up there with the best. I think City have lost 1 game at home this season. Liverpool have lost 1 game at home this season. Yeah, I mean, Man United, I think, have lost 1 or is it 2?
Newcastle had only lost
Newcastle
one.
had only lost 1 and 2. So our home record is superb. You know what I mean? Now, Brighton is one of them, in the past, been one of them sort of bogey teams for us.
Yeah, we lost last season.
At home. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they beat us there last season. And if we're not on our game, they're more than capable of coming here and beating us. But they'll be fearful of our home record as well. Our home record is really good. And as I said, they're coming off the back of a bit of a walloping. That does make a bit of difference to your confidence, you know?
All right, let's go through what we do know then, because you keep talking about this last fixture that Brighton played, and it was a battering by Everton. So let me just read you Brighton's last 5 games. They beat Chelsea 2-1 away.
Great performance.
Exactly that.
Hold on. See, I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you there. And this is the problem with us Arsenal fans now. So that was a great performance by Brighton. But when we had them 3-0 down here, you know, that was 3-0 we had them down there. It wasn't a great performance.
No, but
that's what I'm saying.
But
sometimes
they were really bad. You said it.
No,
You
but
said
it doesn't matter.
worst Chelsea
they were really
I've ever...
bad against Brighton as well, and that's why Brighton won. But you've got to put these teams to the sword, and that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we're overcritical and forgetting how well we've done. That was an excellent performance against Chelsea. Yes, it's a bit of a downer because we conceded a goal. But so what? It's 3-1. We thrashed them at home. The game was done. The second half, Arsenal, they went at it for about the first 10 minutes. The rest of the game, they were just in third gear. It was a great home performance.
Okay.
I want to see that on Sunday.
Okay, then they lost to Nottingham Forest 3-1. Even though Nottingham Forest they didn't play massively great, they just took their chances in that game. Brighton had a lot of possession. Now here we go. They lost to Nottingham Forest 3-1, right? And then the next game after that, they played Wolves and won 6-0. The reason why I'm highlighting this is because we're going to hear the battering that Brighton took, but they bounced back after that game against Nottingham Forest. So after that, they won 6-0 to Wolves. Then they won at home against Man United, that last-minute penalty, McAllister. And then they played Everton at home and lost 5-1. I'm worried about the bounce back that... I always get worried around these times.
You know what, right? You worry too much.
I knew it was going to...
You worry too much. I mean, listen, obviously you have to be aware. They you know, I already read what De Zerbi said. There's going to be a response. Want to see...
Correct.
Right? But... You know, that's all great. But look at some of those, you know, as well as Brighton have played, just as you just said, they lost to Everton, they lost to Nottingham Forest, and now they're coming to a ground where we've only lost once all season, right? So, and we're just coming off the back of an outstanding victory. You know, 2 back-to-back victories, by the way, beating Chelsea and beating Newcastle. I think Arsenal can be really, really confident going into this game. There's a lot of players that all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, but they found back their form. Martin Odegaard, who's been absolutely brilliant this season on 15 goals. You know, I think Saka was back at it in the game against Newcastle. Martinelli was excellent. Jorginho, Xhaka was brilliant. So, you know, after that sort of the bump, which was the Southampton games and those, I think, you know, I mean, the team's back on track. So it can be very confident against Brighton. But as I said, we've got to treat Brighton with respect. They're a very, very good side. You know what I mean? There's Caicedo's in there. Great player. McAllister, World Cup winner. Great player as well. He's having a great season. Also been scoring a lot of goals from midfield.
I think top goal scorer for them this season. He's got 10 goals.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Danny Welbeck. Wells is returning.
Danny Welbeck. They've got the youngster up front. I forgot his name slipped me now. The Irish kid up front. He's been banging them in. You know what I mean? Lewis Dunk in defence. Mitoma. But then also, let's not forget, we went to Brighton and we beat them 4-2 and we were 3-0 up?
I think so. It was a very open game.
We should have, in that game, actually, we took the gloss off an outstanding victory by conceding 2 late goals in that game.
They had chances.
Right?
You're right. We done well.
We absolutely wiped the floor with them that day.
It was an open game. I was there. It was an open game.
No. Listen, what it was is we were out of sight. and then we were just going gun-ho, right? And then that's when, you know what I mean, we conceded 2 stupid goals, right, where we should have just kept a clean sheet in that game. And one of the things I'm hoping, that what I saw last week, and it looks like we've learnt a lesson from that West Ham game, from that Liverpool game, is the way we managed the game. Once we went 2 goals up, managed it, slowed it down, spoiled it a bit. I like that, you know what I mean? And that's where, you know, that game earlier on in the season against Brighton, we should really have come out of there with a clean sheet and just pummeled. Because we absolutely battered them that day.
You like the lessons learned. I heard you in the Invincible podcast talking about. I like to see players learn their lessons.
Well, listen, we saw that against Newcastle. It's all about that in life, man. Learning from your mistakes. But I think, you know what I mean, we should also remember that. You know what I mean? We played them earlier on in the season and we put 4 past them.
You're right. You're right. Let me go through obviously Arsenal's last fixtures. West Ham 2-2 for Arsenal. Obviously the 3-3 draw against Southampton after that. Man City lost. We lost at their place 4-1. Beat Chelsea 3-1, and then obviously the 2-0 against Newcastle the last game. So the boys should be with confidence, like you mentioned. Beat Chelsea, beat Newcastle. I kind of want to move this conversation over to the players you want to see figure this Sunday, because at first, I said before recording, I think the team picks itself, but you're right. You said, no, wait, hold on a minute. Does Jorginho keep his place? Do we see Partey return? Do you see Kiwior keep his place? I think many fans were happy with his performance. What's the front three going to be? Do you want to see Trossard return, play against his old side? Do you put Martinelli back in? There is some conversations to be had for this. So let's go with you, Robbie. What would you like to see from
listen,
Arsenal?
Kiwior stays in. I think, you know, him coming in has changed our dynamic again. Yep. We're a bit higher up the pitch, you know what I mean, and we're able to dominate teams again, where with Rob Holding was a bit deeper. So I think Kiwior comes back in. We've got to be good defensively against Brighton. They're very, very good on the break, very good in transition, and we cannot afford to make little errors like what I saw Zinchenko making last week. So I'd keep Jorginho in, because I think he, you know, the last 2 games he's played against Chelsea, Newcastle, who's the man of the match, he was brilliant. He's got to stay in. Yep. You know, you've got Thomas Partey you can bring off the bench in case of anything, but he's got to stay in for me. And up front is the interesting one for me. Now, I'm inclined to bring in Trossard just because it's his old club and he might be pumped up to do something against his old club. He knows them.
For Martinelli, not for Jesus. For Martinelli.
For Martinelli. I think Jesus,
some people are saying Jesus hasn't been scoring.
No, but Jesus last week was brilliant as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, Martinelli was brilliant last week as well. But Trossard against his old club, it's intriguing. I mean, to start with him, you know, he might be really up for that. You know,
you're going to drop Martinelli after he created that goal, the second goal.
Yeah, well, we dropped Trossard. You know, he'd created goals in the previous game. So it's about rotation. It's about rotation, and it's about, I don't know. I think Trossard. I wouldn't mind seeing Trossard. Listen, either way, I'm going to be cool. Okay. If it's Martinelli, I'm cool. If it's Trossard, I'm cool. But I just think Trossard against your old club, you know what I mean, he might have a point to prove. You know what I mean, it happens a lot where, you know, players, I mean, Danny Welbeck playing against his old club, you know what I mean, you have a point to prove. Yeah, they do. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'd start Trossard.
Yeah, Lampard tried it with Aubameyang, didn't really work out.
That's true. That's true. But Trossard's not Aubameyang right now, you know what I mean? I think Aubameyang, you know what I mean, he's not in the right place at the moment.
Yeah, agreed. But
Trossard is. So, yeah, I wouldn't be, but as I said, either way, I'm cool with it, you know what I mean? But Kiwior definitely and Jorginho definitely.
All right, let's do this then, Robbie. How important of a game is this for both sides? Brighton are currently sitting in 7th, 55 points, trying to get football in Europe next season, looking like they're going to achieve it. They've got some games in hand as well. Arsenal,
tough games.
Trying to keep the pressure on City. We're on 81 points. We need to win. We need to keep the Real Madrid games in between for City as well. How important is it for both teams?
Well, this is why it's great, right? These games at this time of the season, because everybody who's playing, most teams, it means something.
Yeah, sure.
So for Brighton, you know, for them to get into Europe, they need a win.
Yep.
Or they need at least a draw out of this. I don't think they can really afford another loss, because, you know, Tottenham won last week as well. They've got other teams closing in on them. Liverpool have moved way ahead of them now. So I think they need a win, but then also we need a win. If we're going to keep the pressure on Manchester City, right, especially if Manchester City were to slip up earlier before the game, before our game, we have to win. We know we got to win every single game from now till the end of the season. 3 games left, we need those 9 points. So this is a must-win for Arsenal. So must-win for both teams. So you can't get better than that. It means so much
for both.
It's going to be a big game come Sunday. Let's round off then. Let's get score predictions and give me your score prediction, how you think it's going to go. Nothing too in depth, but just like, I'm worried about them coming out fast and early, which because we concede so often so early on at Emirates. So what score do you think it's going to be and how is it going to happen?
I think it's going to be a very attacking game as we saw in the last one. I think I'm going to go for Arsenal winning 3-1. I think there's going to be goals in the game, right? I can't say about clean sheets because like you said, you are right. We seem to concede a lot here, but we score a lot here as well. And I think the team, you know, have really got the confidence back. Goal scoring has not really been a problem for Arsenal.
Correct.
You know, especially at all, apart from the City game. And as bad as we play, we even scored in that. So, you know, I think we'll score goals. I'm going to go for 3-1. 3-1 to Arsenal. A lot of pressure on Brighton now. They've been playing a lot of games without much pressure. They're a bit under the radar. I think there's a lot of pressure on them now. How will they handle that? So I'll go 3-1 Arsenal.
3-1, and I'm going to go 3-2. I think you mentioned it right there. It's going to be a very open game, very attacking game. Listen, you said to me, I remember was on the way up to Newcastle, like, I would love a clean sheet. I would love a clean goal. And I was like, Rob, it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. It happened. So I would love one. I think it's going to be 3-2, but I would love, I'm going to say it, I'm going to put it into the atmosphere, into you guys listening, that we get a clean sheet. But
I'd love a clean sheet, but most of all, I want the 3 points. And that is what it's all about because, you know, a 0-0 does nothing for us. You know what I mean? It's about getting the win and keeping the pressure on Man City until it's mathematically impossible. And that's what Arsenal got to do. That's the task.
Okay, and that's it. That's it, guys. Let us know in the comments below your thoughts and predictions down in the comments. The referee for this game is Adam Madley and the VAR guy is Peter Banks. So we'll have that when it comes Sunday. Hit a like on this video if you like the video, and we'll see you again very soon. Come on, you Gunners.
Just to remind you about that big event live with an audience. And if you want to be in the audience, click the link in the description and get involved. Tickets selling fast for that event on the 23rd of May at the Islington Assembly Hall right here in North London. We're going to have loads of guests on the day as well, talking about the Arsenal. You do not want to miss it, right? This podcast, it's a very special one. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be giving away a couple of tickets to it as well. But if you want to join us, get your tickets. They are selling fast. Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.